Hi there, Mr. William Lyon Mackenzie. It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
I'm going to start off by asking you to just tell us a little bit about yourself. Well, my name is Mr. William Lyon Mackenzie, and I was the Prime Minister of Canada 3 times. The first time from 1921 to 1926, the second from 1926 to 1930s, and the third from 1935 to 1948. I was born on the 17th of December in 1874 in Berlin, now known as Kitchener. I was the leader of the Liberal Party from 1919 to 1948, and the Prime Minister for almost 22 of those years. As king, I was dominant, and I was a political figure in an era of major changes. As Canada's longest-serving Prime Minister, I steered Canada through industrialization, the Great Depression, and the Second World War. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself before your profession in politics?
Well, first, I graduated from the University of Toronto in 1895. I then studied economics in Chicago at Harvard. In the 1900s, I became Canada's first Deputy Minister of Labour. This was one of my greatest achievements.
Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
Go for it.
Was the violent rebellion in 1937 truly necessary?
I started off by running a newspaper called the Colonial Advocate. After 4 years, I felt I could make a greater difference, and I ran for office and was elected for House of Assembly for York County. I was constantly re-elected, and when Canada needed their first mayor, I was their first choice.
Growing up, did you always want to be a mayor, or did you have other dreams?
Well, at first, I didn't win the election, and I was very shocked because of the amount of time I had spent in the office and the power that I had. The second time around, when I ran in the election, I was relieved that I got the spot. I was hoping this from the beginning.
Was it hard to lead a city during the Upper Canadian Rebellion?
I didn't need to follow anyone in their footsteps because I wanted to make my own rules and values. I was always a leader in my mind, and I was always able to do things on my own. If I wanted something to happen, I would make sure it did. Being the first leader wasn't so hard because I already had a radical reformer. This helped me to become the best leader I could.
As the first mayor of Toronto, how were you able to run such a developed city if you didn't have anyone to follow?
Leading Toronto in the Upper Canadian Rebellion wasn't so hard because I was loved by many. However, the tough part began when I started to get attacked and the printing press got destroyed. As a violent man, I knew I had to fight back. I truly thought a violent rebellion was necessary. I felt that leading during this time only made me more powerful because I was able to control the crowd.
Did you think you would win the election, or were you shocked?
I ran a store with my mother in Scotland, but it went bankrupt. I tried writing for a newspaper in London, but I moved to Toronto, and I was always very interested in politics anyways, so I decided to go into it after moving into the city.
At what point in your life did you want to run for mayor?
The way the rebellion was planned, I believe it was a great way to gain popularity, but due to the lack of discipline during the rebels, it didn't go as planned. I believe that if it worked out, it would have been a great way to gain popularity. It may not have been handled in the best manner, but if it was believe me, it would have been a great idea.
Do you have any last words that you would like to say in front of the audience?
Well, yes. I would just like to say, everyone should always set their goals very high and strive to meet those expectations. I never thought that I would be Prime Minister for Canada, let alone Prime Minister 3 times. I started off writing newspapers, but I got there. I got to my goal, so you should always push and do your best.
Well, thank you for your time, Mr. William Lyon Mackenzie. It was very nice talking to you.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.